Being in the garden for us it's not a chore, it's a stewardship. It's about being in tune with our garden and working together with it. And one of the plants that we love the most in our garden, because it works so well with us and with everything else in the garden, is comfrey. This is a really beneficial plant to be growing in your garden because it's easy to grow. It's incredible. This is just a few years old and we've cut it back a number of times and we've divided it and spread it out, and it just keeps growing and growing, and it sends a deep taproot down into the soil to draw really good nutrients up, and then it stores these nutrients in the leaves. So when we cut it and use it, then this is supplying our garden and ourselves with beneficial nutrients. And yeah, we like it when we can grow as much as possible in our garden that has benefits to us and that we can work with, and comfrey is definitely one of these things. And it does pay to have a bit of knowledge, a bit of understanding, and certainly some experience with it. We tend not to eat the comfrey, some people do, but we usually use it mostly in the garden and in one other way that I'll tell you about in a minute. But today what we want to do here is to show you how we harvest it and how we dry it so that we can store it. And it's best to be wearing gloves when you're harvesting or working with comfrey because it's got very fine spikes like a fur on the leaves. And so when we cut it, we want to cut it so that there is some of the plant left in the ground. And keeping that crown in the ground is going to really help it to come away much more easily. And then with this, we can work with in two different ways. We're going to dry it, hanging some of it in just bunches of 4 or 6 like this. We'll wrap a rubber band around it and hang it where we keep our cactus and our adenium. And then we'll also dry it in our dehydrator inside. First though, we will cut off the stalks because the stalks are containing a lot of the water, and if they're going to take a lot longer, if we leave them on, they're going to take a lot longer to dehydrate. But when we hang it, we'll just wrap an elastic band, a rubber band around the stalks, and this is more effective than tying it with string because as the plants dry out, as the leaves dry out, they're going to shrink, and if they're tied with string they might just fall out, whereas the rubber band's just going to hold them a bit better. And then we'll just leave them for a few days. The reason that we're going to try 2 methods is because it's our rainy season now in the north of Thailand. It's really humid. It's quite warm, but it's very, very humid. So we're hoping that the leaves will dry out really nicely, but if they don't, we're going to have some that we've dried in the dehumidifier, and to show you how that works. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. If it was our hot season or our cool season where we don't get any rain, then it's going to be much safer to dry them just by hanging them because there's no threat of the humidity affecting the way they dry out. And if they dry out too slowly, they're going to just go black and moldy and not be of much use at all. The other ways that we do use it, we use it directly when we're not drying it. We'll cut it and put it in our compost, or just chop it and drop it, or I'll make some comfrey tea, a natural organic liquid nutrient, and I just chop up the comfrey leaves and soak it in a big barrel of water for 2-3 months or more, and then just apply this directly to our plants. But once we've got the dried comfrey, we'll powder it up and put it into jars, in airtight jars, and store it in that. The leaves that we put in the dehydrator took about 3 hours to dry at 40 degrees Celsius and came out crisp and green looking. The ones that we hung, we left them there for 2 days and they dried out nicely. They were nice and crisp, a little bit brown looking. And so these ones I trimmed the stalks first and then cut them up and put them in the blender. And both lots powdered up very, very easily. You can see the colour difference between the ones from the dehydrator and the ones we dried naturally. I'll keep them in an airtight jar. And we also make a salve out of it. I have tried this, I'd read about it, and I found it to work extremely well. I'd been doing quite a lot of wood carving, as you might know if you've watched our channel for a while, and I was getting quite an incredible pain in my forearm, so I stopped carving for a couple of weeks. and the pain sort of went away mainly, and I started again, and immediately I started carving, the pain came back again. I made some of the Comfrey balm and used it and tried it for maybe 3 or 4 applications over 3 or 4 days, started carving again, and I've never had the problem with the pain at all again. So it's been very effective for me. And also with the dried comfrey, you can use this to apply around your plants, and your pot plants, in your compost, however you like, because it's got so much nutrient locked up in it that is ready to be absorbed into your plants as it decomposes naturally once you apply it. And yeah, comfrey's a dynamic accumulator. It just draws so much goodness from the ground and stores it in the leaves, and as you use it, making it available either for healing for ourselves or for putting goodness and nutrition back into our garden. And to us, this is the best way of gardening, when we can use what we produce ourselves and not rely on having to buy in chemical fertilizers or pesticides or anything else from outside, because the land looks after itself. If we work together with it as we are good stewards of the land, then we will see the inevitable results, which is just a lovely, thriving and incredibly enjoyable gardening. And if you'd like to see more about how we work here at Sue and Silk Homestay in our garden and how much we enjoy it, you can watch this video next. And thanks very much for watching this one all the way through.